Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss some desirable characteristics of a relay, types of operating principles of relay, key equations for electromagnetic attraction, and some fundamental points. What are the desirable characteristics of a relay? It is a common point which comes in everybody's mind. Speed. So, usually when a term speed comes in our mind, we always think for a vehicle. We think we should have a vehicle with very high speed, but not always true. Same happens with relay. A protective relay must operate at the required speed. Required speed means depends on our application. It should neither be very slow that may result in damage to equipment, nor should it be too fast that may result in undesirable operation during transient faults. We can conclude the shorter the time for which a fault is allowed to persist in the system, the more load can be transferred between the given points on the system without loss of synchronism. So, the speed of a relay depends on a particular application. Sometimes we need very high speed relay. Sometimes we need to reduce its speed as per our requirement. So, if fault is severe, we always try to minimize the time to persist the fault in the system. We always try fault should clear in minimal time. Now, what is sensitivity? So, this picture I think will give you an idea. So, similarly, in our power system, we need to select a relay with suitable sensitivity because we need to select a relay with optimal sensitivity. It should be sufficiently sensitive so that it operates reliably when required under the actual conditions in the system. It means it, it should produce the least tendency for operation. It is normally expressed in terms of minimum volt ampere required for the relay operation. So it is also depending upon the system requirement. Now, reliability. Again, we always want to have reliable force. And first picture comes in our mind that is of our soldier. So relays are the soldiers of the power system. Basically, they senses an abnormal condition and sends the signal to the circuit breaker for suitable operation. For our current fault, to open the contacts of a circuit breaker. Now, accuracy. Very important, because it is an important term and used everywhere. However, it is very difficult to define. So, I conclude like, if a relay is specified to have plus minus X percent of accuracy, it means that relay should operate when exciting quantity, it may be either current, voltage, or any other parameter, which depends on the type of relay, is between plus minus X percent band of its relay setting. In other way, if the relay accuracy is plus minus 2%, then it could sense the exciting quantity to be of any level from 0.98 to 1.02 times of the relay setting. Now, selectivity, another very important term. So, what do you understand by selectivity? You need to think once. It is the basic requirement of the relay in which it should be possible to select which part of the power system is actually faulty and which is not. Very difficult decision, and should isolate the faulty section only of the system from the healthy part of the system. It can be achieved in two ways, either unit system of protection or non-unit system of protection. So both will be discussed in forthcoming lectures. This diagram can give you an idea. There are three paths, and of course there may be one path that is the best one to reach the home when we are returning from office. So, do you think any other desirable characteristics for a relay? Think. Let us discuss types of operating principles. Broadly, we have two types of operating principles for electromechanical relays. First is electromagnetic attraction, second is electromagnetic induction. Now, let us discuss this electromagnetic attraction first. This is very simple. However, before talking about this type of principle, we need to think and get an answer about what is electromagnet. I think you have this experience, means if you have wires and the wires are put on a nail like this shown in the diagram, and current is supplied to the wire, then basically it will produce flux, or you can say magnetic lines. I mean to say, this nail will become magnet and it can attract iron pieces. So similar magnet is used in electromagnetic attraction. So in such principles, somewhere you can notice two coils, somewhere you will notice one coil and one spring, and like that. So the normal question should come into your mind, why do we have this kind of arrangement? Now, this diagram I explained in my last class. So simply I just give you the recap. Means if the coil, or you can say electromagnet, is supplied by current and the current crosses the set value of the relay, this electromagnet would attract the moving armature, and the moving contacts would come into contact of stationary contact, I mean physical contact. So the trip circuit is activated and the signal is sent to the trip circuit. So again, the same question, why do we have single coil and one spring here? So we'll discuss in forthcoming class, but I'm giving you an opportunity to think, why do we have one coil and one spring? Now here we have two coils and one spring. So there are many types of similar arrangement for electromagnetic attraction type of relays. It is a very important category of relay. Now we need to understand its working by some equation. Basically, what is the relation between the force and the current for such kind of relay? Actually, force is proportional to the square of the current. I mean to say, the current is from its operating coil, because we also talk about another coil, that is controlling coil. So I'm not going to discuss this term here, we'll discuss in forthcoming class. So this force is directly proportional to I square, and I is basically sinusoidal current, and if we substitute the value of I in above expression and then solving it, that is one line derivation hardly, we require some knowledge of trigonometry, we obtain this expression. So that is what the force applied on the moving armature due to this current by an operating coil. Now again the question comes in your mind, what is the effect of the second term which has double frequency? So think again. However, I'm going to solve your doubts in coming classes. Thank you very much.